Let's get started. So here it is. From our introduction class, demo class, introduction class, we learned as a data engineer, we are into ETL, data warehouse, security, optimizations, and analytics. All these together, we are going to practice like a bundle, end to end, from tomorrow's class. And how do we do that? Here it is. Question here, how to implement ETL? Open source technologies. We have PySpark, other one Scala SQL. Actually Spark SQL. Okay, remember this. So whatever notes you'll be receiving today, it includes the same items. I said Spark SQL just now, right? Here are the Spark SQL queries like this. MS SQL we use single quote. Spark SQL we can use anything. Something like that. Okay, these are all Spark SQL queries. Then we have something called analytics, axis, visualization. What are these analytics? Then we have something called Python and PySpark, something called Scala. We'll do one by one with examples. Microsoft technologies to implement ETL, Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapse Analytics, and Azure Stream Analytics. And here we have PySpark, Scala, Spark SQL put together in a single environment called Azure Databricks. I repeat, open source technologies, Microsoft technologies. Okay, next, all above ETL technologies, both open source and Microsoft, are powered by one cloud computing component called Spark. Remember Spark. Let's understand the history of Spark in 1 minute. In olden days, to implement ETL and data warehouse, we have various technologies from various companies. To name a few, we have Microsoft MSBI, Oracle OBI, SAP BW. And same way, we used to have something called IBM Cognos, etc., etc. And now, one and only one godfather, Spark. Remember, without Spark, no ETL, no data engineering. Remember, that Spark we are going to configure tomorrow. Very simple, very colorful component. We are going to learn what is Spark tomorrow from scratch. What is Spark? What is Spark cluster? And what we do as a data engineer with Spark cluster, and how to configure it. How to configure Apache Spark cluster. First 10 to 15 minutes tomorrow. Then we are going to slowly start ETL from tomorrow itself. So here is our concept checklist from tomorrow's class. Yes, we are going to use an existing account or create a new account, but we will be concentrating on Spark. It's open source, Spark, Apache Spark we call open source. That whatever Spark we are going to configure tomorrow will be used until end of the course, entire 7 weeks journey. We have something called Spark, big data storage, ETL, something called notebooks, Python notebooks, Scala notebooks, Spark SQL notebooks, jobs, security, Power BI integrations, something called data frame concepts, detailed architecture, and Delta Lake activities this week. Next, say plan for next 10 classes with this agenda item. So you'll be receiving this particular cheat sheet. Take a print copy of this sheet, please. Take a print copy. And in our process, we are going to learn something called Unity Catalog, PySpark, and few other concepts. But remember, what is Spark? BI. To implement BI. What is BI? ETL plus data warehouse plus analytics. Yes, here it is. Purpose of Spark. Purpose of Spark to implement ETL, data warehouse, analytics, and nowadays even machine learning also. Wherever there is machine learning, there will be AI. So AI is a part of our classes with AI. Don't see AI separately. It has to be mixed in our everyday plate now. Give me 2 days time. We'll enjoy AI on my screen and in your practice as well. Just 2 days max from today. We'll make it happen. Very simple and straight. We'll make it easier, useful. Next, we'll go for questions after some time. Okay. How to implement? Here it is. How to implement data warehouse? Open source technologies, Spark database. Remember, Spark SQL, ETL, Spark database warehouse. I repeat, in our classes, we'll be understanding how to create our own Spark databases practically. We are going to configure some virtual machines, Hive Metastore databases called Spark databases we'll call. Those Spark databases will be loving Spark SQL. So Spark SQL is ETL brand, Spark database is warehouse brand. Remember the difference. And we have Microsoft Data Warehouse Technologies, Azure SQL Pool, and Synapse SQL Pool. Both are different. Pool, it's a collection of databases. We call it a warehouse. Next, using Spark we can do ETL, data warehouse, both. So Spark database available, Spark SQL available. One warehouse, one ETL put together. So all above ETL as well as data warehouse technologies are powered by Spark. Now with this information, basic end-to-end implementation plan. This is important again. Remember, to understand this implementation plan, we need to know the main purpose of a warehouse. Purpose of data warehouse: to store aggregated data for faster analytics. One more, to store incremental data, historical data, Okay, incremental data, historical data. Two different purpose of a warehouse. In real world, usually there are different options for end-to-end implementation. Option one, we use ADF, this one, Azure Data Factory, ADF, which is actually easier and simple user interface. We use ADF for ETL and Synapse SQL pool. Olden days we used to have Azure SQL pool. Now slowly companies are migrating to Synapse SQL pool data warehouse. This is one way. Other option, ADF and Spark. Open source, right? Cheaper. Spark warehouse. And we have third option as well. Third option, ADF and Spark, mainly for something called data cleansing and medallion architecture we call. Okay, remember this part of our project work later. From there we have Synapse. This is using Databricks. Our course includes a project. It is based on this one. Let me show you this end-to-end integration from one website. Here it is. Any end-to-end integration involves ETL, cleansing, warehouse. So data factory, Databricks, Synapse. From there comes Power BI, reporting activity. Now the question, why like this? I said medallion architecture, right? Medallion architecture involves something called data lake that involves bronze, silver, gold, three different levels of tables we are going to create for easy reuse. We call this as medallion architecture, remember. Our actual classes. I repeat again, it's all about data extraction. Data factory will take care, ADF. Storage, data lake will take care at the intermediate level, staging layer. At the end comes warehouse, analytics and reporting. From there comes dashboarding, cloud, Power BI, machine learning, etc. So to make it clear, data factory, ETL, first layer ETL, Databricks, second layer ETL, and this is processing activities, staging and processing, and this is data warehouse. This Synapse can be replaced with Spark database also. Remember, in real world they are all good friends. Open source ETL, Microsoft ETL, open source warehouse, Microsoft warehouse, all are good friends. This is the actual background story. Now, where to start with? Let's start with Spark. Yes, we need to come to these particular points again. This is our main important activity. Let's slowly start with Spark. Let's understand what is Spark and how to configure it step by step in Azure. We'll do it slowly one by one. So here it is. You'll be receiving two documents first. Of course, you get the print documents for the classes from tomorrow anyway, as promised few minutes back. You'll receive it. From today's class, you'll receive two notepad documents. First document, the one I was writing it earlier. Now this is the second one. As a data engineer, we are responsible for storage, ETL, analytics. This is called BI implementation. To implement BI in cloud, we need Spark technology. Don't see Spark as a separate entity. No. You take Databricks, Spark is there. You take Data Factory, Spark is there. You take Synapse, Spark is there. Everywhere we have Spark, remember. Spark is the blood of a data engineer. Open source cloud computing platform. By first 10 minutes of tomorrow's class, we are going to have something called Workspace compute to create the Spark cluster. What is that? Compute means cloud computing component. It's a cloud computing environment. For what? For everything in data engineering. Storage means warehouse. So we have staging. We can have staging and warehousing activities. Both can be performed using Spark. ETL can be done using Spark. Analytics can be done using Spark. And also data science. Now what is Spark cluster? Very simple. We know SQL Server, right? We know SQL Server. Now, what is instance? Yes, friends, really, what is instance? Instance means installation of SQL Server, right? Isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Installation.
Yes, sir.
To activate SQL Server, I need an instance. Same way, to implement Spark, I need a cluster. That's it. As simple as that. Cluster is a powerhouse. Cloud computing environment. To activate Spark, to work with Spark, we need a cluster. Why? We need to have something called resources to perform storage, ETL, analytic activities. What is that? Storage, analytic activities. We need something called resources. Observe carefully. Each Spark cluster is made up of nodes. Each Spark cluster is made up of something called nodes. Those nodes we are going to learn from tomorrow. I repeat once again. Today we are learning slowly what is data engineering. As a part of data engineering, we are all into ETL, warehousing, analytics. To implement this ETL and warehouse, we require a common friend, Spark. So as a data engineer, we are responsible for configuring, securing, and managing Spark clusters. Configure, secure, manage Spark clusters. That's the first concept we need to learn from tomorrow. Then we need to implement delta loads, incremental loads by next week. So kindly revise MS SQL concepts by this weekend itself. Please revise joins, merge, window functions. If you want any revision material for this, practical revision material for this, do let me know. I am there. Make sure you revise. I want answers from you for my questions in the class. Let's make it interactive. Let's make it practical. Delta loads, very, very interesting, coming up next week. To understand it, yes, we need to have hands-on on merge by end of this week. I could see if you attend this from our ongoing 6 p.m. SQL, we'll be taking merge mostly by this Friday, so no problem. Because in data engineering, incremental loads, delta loads come in our 7 p.m. data engineering class by mid of next week. So no problem. Attendees from 6 p.m. SQL classes, I'll make sure they are in sync in a meaningful way. Attendees who completed SQL, you already have merge and window functions notes with you. Others, no problem. Do let me know on WhatsApp. Happy to provide you the notes for these two concepts. You'll go through them carefully if you need it. Schedule, monitor, secure, manage notifications. management and kind of administration. Workspace management. Workspace is an environment for data engineers and data scientists. It is actually a web-based environment. It's like a portal, a play area. Okay, it's like a portal or a play area. What we do using this workspace from tomorrow, we are going to slowly step into Spark cluster creation, performing ETL, performing data warehouse activities, etc., etc. We'll do carefully. And there are different ways to implement Spark clusters. I said open source, right? Databricks, Snowflake, open source methods to implement Spark. Data Factory, Azure Synapse Analytics, and Azure Machine Learning, AML we call, Azure Machine Learning, AML. These are the prominent methods to implement Spark. AWS, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Glue. Again, those are required for implementing Spark. Data Factory is into ETL and Synapse Analytics into ETL, data warehouse. There's a main advantage here. Something new, something more actually. Synapse Analytics has something more than Data Factory, but both are equally important for our classes. In addition to open source environment Databricks. So from tomorrow, we are going to slowly start with what is Spark and why we need it, how to implement it. With this, we'll stop for now. You'll please go through these notes carefully. Also, you refer to this particular notes once or twice, and you'll be taking a print copy of all the Word documents. Our team would be sending it today to everyone. Please take print copies of the documents. For now, I'll be providing you two notes. Okay, our team will send you the print copy note separate mail anyway. Let me first do my duty. Let me send you two different documents. Please wait. And I need to send you the checklist activities for our classes. For this week, next week, checklist content. For this week and next week, checklist content I'll be sending it now. Hope you already have SQL Server with you. If not, please install SQL Server from this particular website link, sqlschool.com downloads. We need it for our examples. Please wait. From tomorrow, you'll be receiving a separate link, common link for this week and next week classes. Please make sure we join on time 7 p.m. sharp from tomorrow, please. I'll be on time. And reference in this way. I'll title this as Azure Intro for ETL, Data Warehouse, Analytics. By end of tomorrow's class, we'll have all these three examples together. End to end, all three examples together we'll do tomorrow. One ETL, one warehouse, one analytics by end of tomorrow's class. That example we are going to explore more, understand more, and scope it more day after tomorrow. We'll do in a meaningful way. Tell me please, how many hours you can practice per day? Please, everyone, how many hours you can practice per day, please? Minimum 1 hour, everyone. Please help me.
Yeah,
Please,
1 hour.
I'll wait.
1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah, we will come.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Minimum 1 hour, please, everyone. Please, minimum 1 hour. And make sure we receive the mail. Kindly check it, friends. I'll wait. Kindly check it, please. I'll wait. Please check it, friends. I'll wait for some time, please. Yes, friends. Hope you got the mail, everyone. Please, I'll wait, please.
Yeah, just now received, sir. Thank you.
Fine,
Yes,
friends.
we have
Others, please
received.
check it, friends. I'll wait.
Yeah, received.
Perfect. Perfect.
Received, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you. Kindly make sure you practice items carefully. From tomorrow, please help me.
Sure,
Okay, the print copies, our team will send it anyway. Okay, most in another 5-10 minutes, our team will send you the print copy notes for this week and next week anyway. They'll do.
Sure, sir.
Take print copies. 10 documents. Okay, total 10 documents you should be receiving. So 10 different chapters you'll be receiving it. Take print copies, file them. Thank you. Have a nice time. Thank you. Meeting tomorrow.
Sir,